War Eagle, and welcome to another edition of Ever to Podcast, our somewhat regular get-together in audio format here at E2C Network, where we share the Auburn experience. That Auburn experience to us is all about a few things: Auburn sports, Auburn culture, and Auburn family stuff. An easier way to say it, though, might be, if it's orange and blue, it's what we do. So thank you so much for joining us in what we're going to be doing today. Ever to Podcast episode 29. Today's date is June 24th, 2025. As always, I'm your host, Kyle Loomis. We're going to get you caught up on the latest Auburn news, discussion, scuttlebutt across social media, in person, all that kind of stuff. Let's just get into it. All things orange and blue today. We got a lot to talk about, good and bad, related to football, discussions around that. We're going to talk some soccer news, as it's going to be things dropping all this week. And we'll also be looking at a few other smaller news stories, too, about some other situations if we have time. Let's start off with some football discussions. This is technically a two-part topic, and really today, I hate to start on this note on the negative side of things, but I think it continues to need to be addressed given the temperature of some things that I have seen online and just with discussions with other people. If you haven't noticed, there's been on social media, maybe message boards, and maybe out and about for your conversation in person, there's probably like an air of negativity setting in amongst a lot of the Auburn family. Not a lot, or excuse me, I should say a lot of the Auburn family, but not all is what I'm trying to say. But maybe some of the more vocal ones on social media and things like that. Most of this is around the situation currently at this time with recruiting and people obsessing about the decision-making process of 17 and 18-year-old boys. I say that way for a reason, to put things in perspective for those of you that are flipping out about it. That's what you're freaking out about. There's been some decommitments for the 2026 class, ones that have been there for a while, and some that people consider to be of very high value, and not that everybody is of value, but people have opinions based off of rankings of stars, which don't matter in the grand scheme of things, and rankings of teams and things like that, and the recruitings that change and ebb and flow. There's just a lot of negativity around that, because people are starting to ask the question, when you see that happen a lot, what's going on? Is there something wrong? And people I even saw this trail go. Unfortunately, we all know that Coach Hugh Freeze is dealing with his cancer diagnosis, which, as far as we know, and he's last shared with us, seems to be in a very stable management period right now. But there were even scuttlebutt and rumors where some of our larger media people had to even address it on social media and said the notion that Hugh Freeze is about to step down in relation to that or something else is just ridiculous. Now, let me just clarify that. We don't know what the future holds. At any moment, anything could change. Hugh Freeze could decide to step down for some reason, even not related to his illness. But there doesn't seem to be any indication right now. I think what you have here is a lot of people that build their hopes, their dreams around how their team competes versus their biggest rivals, and don't know how to process that when they face disappointments. These are decisions of 17 and 18-year-old boys. They have a lot of influences and voices in their ears, and a lot of money being thrown at them now on top of that. At least they've always had money being thrown at them, let's be clear. But they've had now legal money being thrown at them in the NIL space. So you have to remember that there's a lot with these kids. They love the attention. They love the dynamics of people freaking out about them. So if you find yourself in a space where you're being negative about the season, negative about the future of Coach Hugh Freeze, simply because of this instance in time right now, you need to stop it. I'm aware that the first two seasons were not what you wanted it to be, but I think, once again, there's a lot of context that's being lacked in those discussions. So my advice to you, if you are one of those Auburn fans that has a little bit more of a context-driven approach to how you look at things and are a little bit more level-headed, we need to speak up a little bit louder to kind of help some of these people that are struggling with that. And if you're struggling with that, I guess come talk to me if you want to talk through some of those things. But I promise you, if you're freaking out about Auburn because of some recruiting, a bad stretch of recruiting, you're going to look pretty silly later on down the road when things get better. And I promise you, they always do get better because it ebbs and flows with time. When will that be? I don't know. But for right now, that's what we want to talk about. All right, let me move away from some negative space. Maybe that's not the best way to start off the show, but this stretches into something good about football and how good the Auburn family comes across when things like this happen. And what we're talking about today is officially season tickets have been sold out for Auburn football as of this morning. 63,500 season tickets have all been sold out. What's different and unique about this year is the last couple years, you have been able to purchase the last few season tickets with the as a general public sale. This year, that won't happen. They were sold out through the Tough Priority program this year, which is a little bit different. That tells you that the excitement truly is there. So if you're someone that is on the negativity bandwagon, as we already addressed, maybe you need to take the signs of this as well, that you probably just need to just pump your brakes a little bit. But what a great thing. What a great response to the Auburn family. And once again, the redefining of what it means Auburn being Auburn. This is what it always has been and what needs to be more the focus of what we're doing here. So what does this mean for you out there if you did not get season tickets and were hoping to in the Tough program? Well, I think it means two things. Next year, you may have to join the Tough program, which requires a donation to even be considered for those season tickets. So that is something you may want to consider, because especially if things improve this year, as we all hope that they do, you're going to probably find it even harder to find season tickets and then single game tickets and stuff like that. So something to think about. It also could be that it's just Auburn is playing Alabama and Georgia at home in the same year, and there's extra excitement on top of that. So next year, it may not be the case. I don't know that's going to be for a fact, but just something to think about. Now, there are going to be some single tickets going on sale Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Time, and some game packs as they typically do for a few of the games. I'm anticipating all of the Alabama and Georgia game tickets to be sold out by the time that opens up, so don't get your hopes up for that. But there will be game packs and there will be single game tickets, I'm assuming, for the first two home games. Ball State, there'll probably be the Mercer situation, Kentucky, Missouri, all of that is going to be on the table for you to potentially purchase and get an opportunity to come see the Tigers in Jordan-Hare this year, which I hope that you all do. It's going to be a very fun season on the Plains, even just thinking about Georgia and Alabama being there. But those tickets are going to go on sale Thursday, 9 a.m. Central Time, so good luck to you if you are popping on and getting the single tickets. But once again, the Auburn family shows up and shows out in big ways for the season ticket showing and how Auburn is just being Auburn. Switching gears to a little bit of what's probably going to be a multiple session thing this week on Ever to Podcast. I love what Auburn soccer is doing this year and releasing their schedule in bits and pieces officially. This is not an uncommon trend. Basketball has done this a lot lately, and I think football as well, where they'll give you basketball is probably the best example. Their non-conference schedule first, then we already know the SEC opponents for men's and women's basketball, and then they'll kind of put it all together over time. But this week, soccer announced that they're going to be doing today what we're going to talk about, non-conference revealed, the next day, SEC, so then you'll know the full schedule, and then their promotions on top of that. So I love that. I think it's great marketing by Auburn Soccer. So really quickly, let's run through that and give you what you could be looking forward to if you're coming to the Plains. And you should be. Some of these soccer weekends are going to be football weekends. Good opportunities to go see that. 2 exhibition games to start off the year. One with Georgia Southern at Auburn. Then they're going to go to Memphis and play the Tigers on the road on August the 8th. That's August 2nd and August 8th for those 2 exhibition games. And then you're going to have 7 non-conference games as of this moment. You've got starting off with Louisville at Auburn. That should be a big matchup on August 14th. August 17th, you'll have Samford at Auburn. August 21st, that Thursday, will be Southern Miss at Auburn. So a lot in a row at Auburn, followed up with Kennesaw State at Auburn, August 24th. They'll finally go on the road in true non-conference out to Utah for 2 games. Now, I was confused when I saw this team's logo. It's like, who is that? Who are we going to travel to? But it makes sense now. You do these dual games sometimes in certain sports if you're going to be traveling out that far. Auburn is going to go out to Provo, Utah, and play the BYU Cougars Friday, August 29th, which will be the first football game, I know, so there won't be a lot of attention on that with both being played as a nighttime, but it's still interesting to see. And then that Monday, they'll be out there still playing Utah Valley while they're out there in Utah. They will come back home, Florida Gulf Coast, Dunk City. I know, different sport, but I always love to say that when they come up. Auburn versus Florida Gulf Coast in the non-conference tournament in Auburn, Alabama. So 2 true away games and then 5 total Auburn home games for soccer, 4 of those in a row, and then you will have the home and away exhibition matches, which we started off talking off with in this segment. So that's what you have to look forward to with Auburn soccer. And just a quick shout out. I want to give a shout to Chase Freilich, Chris Rambert, for being named to the first team all freshman. Let me start over with that. The first team freshman All-America by Baseball America. Freilich and Rembert were named to that, so congratulations to them. Not a shock if you saw how they played this year for Auburn baseball. That's going to do it for this episode of Ever to Podcast. Once again, I know some of you may not like it when I talk very frankly about the negativity side, and you may find yourself in that space. And certainly, if you want to share your perspectives and explain why maybe you feel that way, you find yourself in that camp, always shoot us a line. You can do this regardless of what your topic is. e2cnetwork@gmail.com or DM us, and we may consider to talk about it here on the show. As always, make sure you're following. Podcast is out for the Ever to Podcast, yes, but the Auburn Experience. And tomorrow night we'll also have our Auburn Family Night live call-in show on YouTube at 9 Eastern Time. Once again, thanks for being here and being part of our little family within the Auburn family. Until I talk to you again, War Eagle.